Rachel Dangermond, and I'm the director of 100 Men Hall. The 100 Men Hall is a rare standing building on the Mississippi Blues Trail. We either begin or end it, depending on how you start. And it's also a very rare African-American landmark in this area. It was a significant venue for the Chitlin Circuit. It was also a significant venue for the Black community here. I came to Bay St. Louis for many different reasons. I had friends who lived here, and so I had been visiting. I had a young son and lived in New Orleans where things were a little rough. I had been working with Mayor Landrieu and the Winter Institute in Mississippi on race and reconciliation. Community groups that would get together and talk about what can be done to improve the situation and to build bridges in the communities. And I've been doing that for 3 years, and I wanted a place where I could do it on a larger scale. And so that was the sort of intention when I came here. But then it changed after I got here. When I got here, I had been doing this community work for a while, and one thing I noticed is that this community dialogue attracted people who already believed the same thing. So it was just a bunch of different people just jawing about what they know or what they didn't know, and there wasn't a lot of learning or getting people who weren't understanding what was going on or what the history was to see differently. And it wasn't, I think it was, now it might be even 10 years ago that Ta-Nehisi Coates wrote the case for reparations in the Atlantic. And I'd read that and it stuck with me. And so here I was buying this building that was built by and for the Black community. And I thought, well, what could I do? And my first intention was to bring the Black community back in, to feel a sense of ownership. And we did that with the portrait project and different things like that. But the second thing was to work on reparations and how I could do that. And that was hiring majority Black artists to help us tell the story, whether that would be performances, spoken word, visual arts. But that was what we wanted to do. Then we formed a membership organization, and its service work is it's called the 100 Women DBA, is to uplift women of color in Hancock County, and particularly we give out 7 scholarships to young women of color graduating from Hancock high schools. So my vision changed from sitting around and talking about race and equity to actually maybe taking some steps towards doing something. People my age and older know about the 100 Men Hall and the Black community, but people between the ages of 30 and 50 don't really know about it, because when they were born, the hall had been sold in 1982, and it had changed from Black to white ownership, and they never had a history with coming here. And that was very different from what had happened before, and there are many reasons for that. In 1982, you had the Civil Rights Act that had passed, you had the end of segregation, you had a cultural change in music and the way it's consumed. You have DJs playing music. You can have a house party at your grandmother's house. You don't have to come here and hear a live band to dance. There were also other things that were going on before. Children were clamoring to get in here because this is where the fun was happening. But now they could go to Gulfport or Slidell, and the sort of youth community wanted to be anywhere their parents were not. So when I first bought the hall, like I said, the thing was to bring in the Black community. Okay, so we did the portrait project. Those are all on our website. And we had Gus Bennett, who is the photographer for Essence Fest and Jazz Fest. And he came in and he really did some beautiful portraits. And while we were doing that, we took bios of the people who came in. We heard such amazing stories about the history of the hall. We hired Wendo Brunius and his partner, Jolene Barkley, to paint a visual storyboard of the history of the hall. A lot of people would pass by here and say they didn't even know it was a hall. So this is back of town now, but in its heyday, this was pretty much white families living here, and they didn't come here. People passed by, they didn't know about it, even though you had these wonderful events going on here. It was by and for the Black community, and really the white community knew very little about what was going on here. For the Black community during its day, it was their place. There was no fence between St. Rose and here, and so the families and kids just ran around all back here, had picnics, enjoyed themselves. It was a safe place to be, so it was extremely important to the Black community. And then after that, it was not really a community place until we reopened in 2018. And again, very intentional, inviting the community in to participate in what we were doing. And that has been done with, you know, what would bring the community in? What would bring the Black and white community together? What are the things? What would bring the Latin community in, who normally doesn't come here? So we very intentionally programmed for those things. And also celebrating the hall. In 2022, we were coming out of the pandemic and the shutdown, and it was the 100-year anniversary of the hall. So we very intentionally sought out funding. You know, we are a federal 501c3 nonprofit. We sought out funding to tell the story of the hall to people who don't know about it. You know, we are attracting bigger and more well-known musicians. They cost a lot more, but our ticket prices don't go up because we live in a community that has a price sensitivity. So I would say this, that we look good, but we really, you know, our organization, even though, you know, we're well put together in terms of our bylaws and, you know, and what we do and everything, we really kind of live hand to mouth around here. We are one of the top 5 reasons with TripAdvisor why people visit the Gulf Coast, okay? Number 2, we are part of the cultural economy of this place, probably stronger. I can't think of another place like us that has that sort of position in the community. We have really made attempts to bridge out to other people, to people who maybe don't, I don't want to say think the same way, but don't feel comfortable here. We've really made an attempt. Last year we did One Mississippi, and our intent was to reach out to people who fly a different flag, you know, and say, you're welcome here, come. You know, because I will tell you this, and this is what I know. I'm from New Orleans, and now I live in Mississippi, and so I say I'm from Mississippi. But everybody here and everybody in New Orleans knows this. If there is a storm tomorrow, I don't care what flag your friend is flying across the street, he's coming over to help you run the generator, clean up your tree with his chainsaw, whatever. I've seen this happen over and over again. The differences that divide us on a daily basis fade away when something happens.